Ooh, I got some good sleep last night. I must have went to sleep like around 10, and I woke up at 6. So I slept about 8 hours. I'm good. 8 hours sleep. You know. But right now it's pretty cold outside, man. For a summer, uh, shit, it's cold. Oh, for a summer morning, that's supposed to be this cold. Shit. Oh, yeah. Oh man, it's cold. I need some sun, man. Can't wait to get to some sun, man. Can't wait till I get to some sun, bro. Oh, man, it's cold. Uh, yeah, so let's talk about why it has gotten harder dating for the average looking man. It's so simple, bruh. Dating apps. You know, dating apps is the cause of all of this, man. Why dudes are having to date down and shit, man. And you feel like, God damn, there's nothing. You can't even get an average woman no more, bruh. It's like, turn my alarm off. You can't even get an average woman no more, man. You gotta date down. You know, I see this all the time, man. You know, some skinny dudes that's not even fat out here dating fat women or below average looking women. Man, why is it cold? Really? This is like supposed to be like July, man. It ain't supposed to be this cold around July. But because of the dating apps, I'm afraid, you know, things have gotten harder for the average man, bro. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I always promote that bag, man. Because what that bag gonna do is put you in the top 20% of men, man. That's why I always say chase the bag, because dating is gonna get harder and harder as the years go by. And as you age too. So I advise motherfuckers to prep for them years, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so social media, dating apps is the reason why a lot of guys are struggling to get their face smashed. You know, a lot of guys got to date down. You constantly got to date a woman that's sub 5, like sub 5 stalker. You know, that female wouldn't leave me alone, bro, and I was not interested in her like that. But because of dating apps and social media, like the guy said, dudes constantly got to date down below themselves. And if you're a guy that's sub 5, you ain't gonna get nothing. You know, if you're a guy that's a 5 or a 6 or something like that, then you gotta settle for like 3s and shit nowadays. I seen that constantly time and time again, bro. You know, that dude's gotta settle for a 3. Cause the 5s and 6s, man, they ain't trying to check for you. They're trying to check for the 7s and 8s. You know, they're checking for guys who are 7s and 8s, 5s and 6s, okay? These females, they constantly want to date up. They got you cornered and trapped. you got no choice but to settle down with a fatty. You know, a female that's fat, out of shape, don't want to work out.
Wait.
Man, why is it so cold this morning, man? Yo, this video won't be very long, man. It's too cold out here, bro. It's embarrassing how cold it is right now. It's supposed to be goddamn... This is July, man. It's supposed to be warm. It feels like a winter morning, man. Anyway, so like I said, man, because social media, dating apps, and all the other stuff, dudes are struggling. You know, they even struggling to keep girls around, man. That was my problem, man. When I was out there dating, as an average man, even when I was swole and I was using steroids, I was still struggling. You know what I'm saying? To keep a female around. Now, was I getting their attention? Yeah. But to get a girl, a long-time girlfriend, or you know, to get sex on the regular, it was pissing me off. So I was like, fuck it, bro. I opted out of dating and started chasing the bag instead. So that way I know that I can, like, once I get the bag, I know that I could keep a girl around or keep women around and always have a consistent sex life. Because then, when you know what, when you get that bag, you beat out the average man. You know, you beat out the average man. And now you're above average. You know what I'm saying? But dating has gotten, what's up with it? What's up with it, Sean? Sean Breezy? What's up with it, Gravis? You know, the dating apps really destroyed everything. I remember when I was dating, this was early 2000? Was early 2010 or something like that. Somewhere around there. I remember, you know, when I was dating out there, I remember the females started to become more pickier. When I was dating, I was getting ghosted a lot more. Now this is back in around 2012 and shit, when I was living with my mom, or like 2013, 14, 15. I remember the years of the struggle, and I was going out on dates like I usually do, and I started noticing like I was getting ghosted a lot more. This is back when I was younger. This is over a decade ago. You know, I remember, bro. You know, I remember how hard it was. And that's why I started chasing the bag, because I know for a fact that if I don't get that money, I'm gonna be in this situation for the rest of my life. You know, I don't want to be here for the rest of my life struggling in the dating market because of the dating apps and social media and all that other stuff. You know, dudes are migrating, dudes are coming up, dudes are why did I say migrating? I mean, you know, dudes are evolving, man. You know, there's a lot of motherfuckers that just don't want to struggle in the dating market. That's why you got dudes inventing stuff to make money off of. Because it's all about the dollar, man. If a man got a brain, he gonna invent something so he don't have to struggle in the dating market. Or he's gonna become part of the 20% of men. Because nobody wants to struggle, man. In the dating market, bro, nobody wants to like, you know, get picked over and get ghosted. So now I understand why dudes go out and become millionaires and invent things like the internet, social media, dating apps. You see, these guys, they're in a safe zone. You know, Mark Zuckerberg and all the motherfuckers, bro. They're in a safe zone. They don't have to struggle in dating, bro. But the average man who ain't really built nothing, or he ain't got the bag, he ain't got money, he's gonna struggle. nowadays. Because women are only dealing with the top 20% of men, man. The struggle is going to be real if you're under 6 feet tall, you're average looking and shit like that. It's going to be real. That's why I say, guys, compete with these motherfuckers, bro. Don't let these motherfuckers take you out the game, bro. Don't let these other men who are inventing things to fuck up your life, don't let them take you out the game, man. Fight back hard. Get the bag. Because you're going to be struggling for the rest of your life if you don't. See, once I get the bag, man, I'll become a competitor of theirs, okay? I'm able to compete with them. You feel me? That's why that bag is important, man, because it'll put you in the top 20% of men, bro. You got to earn that shit, bro. You feel what I'm saying? I noticed that, bro. Like, when I was dating in my early 30s, I was 34, 33, 34 years old. I was staying at my mom's house, man. I was going out on dates. And, women were ghosting me. I noticed that there was a lot more ghosting than before. And I'm thinking like, damn, is it because I'm getting old? Nah, because of the dating apps, bro. When Tinder and Bumble hit the scene, that was like Armageddon for American dating right there within itself. You feel what I'm saying? Once Tinder and Bumble hit, man, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. The ghosting was real. I was getting ghosted, man, a lot. I was like, man, these females disappearing. And I noticed I felt like I had like butterfingers, bro. You feel me? I felt like I had butterfingers. I was like, man, these females keep slipping away from me. I can't get a long-term relationship. It's because these females are only interested in the top 10%. Yeah, they probably might have sex with you for a little bit if they find you attractive. But overall stories, they're not going to stay very long. Somebody going to come along that's taller and got more money than you, they're going to take her away. Just like when I was dealing with Thai Girl, okay? You guys remember? I always talk about Thai Girl in my videos. How me and her, man, we was getting down in the bedroom, bro. I wasn't wearing no Jimmy or nothing. I was just in there just busting all kinds of nuts inside the cooch, with no condom on. And at that time, I was trying to keep this female around because it was hard to get sex, man. You lose a female, best believe it's going to be a 1 or 2 month drought before you find another one. Hard. That's how hard it is for a man to get laid, especially if he's average looking. But like I said, man, when I was with a Thai girl, man, some other dude came along, some other orbiter, and it's frustrating. It made me mad, bro, because that was one of my only options available at the time. It made me fucking pissed off, bro. I was mad. I was mad, bro. You gotta adapt to a new game if you want to survive. Yep. Why did you take down the video about the sisters? Man, shit, man. I took it down. I don't know, man. It's just some videos I take down. Sometimes I think I might say too much, and I'll take it down. But anyway, like I said, man, the dating apps, bro. It's like you have to compete. They're forcing you to compete. I know they're forcing me to better myself and get the bread. That's what's happening. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of guys are going to struggle, man, if they ain't got their bread right. If they ain't together financially, you're just going to struggle. That's why I say, get the bag, bro. Then you'll be in the top 20% of men. And you know what I'm saying? Get the bag, bro. That's all you got to do. You don't get the bag, it's gonna be a curtain ride for you, bro. We talking about it's gonna be curtains. You know what I'm saying? You know. And I remember before the dating apps, yeah, dating was a lot easier back then, man. I mean, you had long-term relationships back then. Hell, I met my girlfriend in 2006. Our relationship lasted into 2012. We had our first break, we broke up, right? We had a first break, we broke up, and then we got back together in 2015, and then we went all the way up to 2017. That's when we finally called it quits. And then I thought I was gonna pop up into full blue and have a brand new girlfriend after me and my girlfriend broke up. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was like, yeah, don't worry about it, man. We get another female, man. So I was on the hunt for like a long time, right? I even like dropped weight, used steroids, using the trend and shit. You feel me? I used that for like a year and came down to all kinds of low percentage body fat. Yeah, it was better. I mean, don't get me wrong. Being at a low percentage body fat using steroids, and it was better with women. Let me tell you that. It was bad. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It was better, but I still didn't get no long-term commitment, and I was still struggling getting sex. I was getting sex from time to time. Don't get me wrong. I would meet a female online. We would hook up. We would have sex, and then for some reason she would disappear, man. It kept happening to me over and over again. I was frustrated, bro. You know, I was frustrated. And I even was making out with females at bars and stuff, but couldn't keep them around very long, bro. Feel me? You know. But you can't keep them because they feel like they can do better. The females. They got so many options is that they feel like, oh, I'm just looking for that right, perfect guy who got his shit together, who got a six-pack, who's 6 foot tall. They're all checking for them 6 foot dudes, bro. This is these females' preference, bro. They always have something to say about my goddamn height, bro. I'm 5'9", but I'm not short, but you know, every time I meet them, you're not very tall, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck does that have to do anything? Like, you know, like the female at the bar, bro, the one I met, and this is my frustration as an average man in the dating market. But I mean, some females, they can see me above average as an older guy, as long as I keep the body fat percentage down low. I consider myself a 5 or a 6 because of my age. But when I lower the body fat percentage, that's when women start turning their head looking at me. They let me know that I'm still a good looking dude, even though I'm 5 years old and shit. And I'm still getting some type of attention from females, especially because of my body game, because I work out and I keep my body in shape. So that's number one reason why I still get attention. But if I was fat, I wouldn't get no attention at all. But my frustration is that I can't get a long-term relationship where I got access to coochie on a regular basis. These dating apps, they cause you to go through droughts. You feel what I'm saying? It take like 1 or 2 months, 1 or 2 months to like find a girl that's interested and want to have sex with you. Because look, you're constantly going out to bars and clubs. You're constantly searching for coochie all the time because you're trying to get laid. And that's what we're here to do as men on earth. We're trying to get laid in any time we can, okay? Trying to get laid whenever the opportunity arises. You know, and then, you know, you find a female you like, you're having sex, you're busting nuts, you're like, oh, goddamn, finally. After about 2 months of searching, I finally got me some cooch. And then you say some wrong shit that she don't like, or maybe you might have shown her too much desperation or some shit like that, and then she disappears. So then you got to go on the hunt again, you know, and there's no telling when you can find you find your next cooch. Like me, if I went on the hunt and I was going out and I was dressing really nice and I was at low percentage body fat, right? I was at low percentage body fat. If I was on the hunt, it would take me like about 1 or 2 months to find something. Now, she won't be very pretty or whatever, you know, but it, you know, she'll be pretty enough to get my, you know, my juices flowing, you know, you know, and it would take me like maybe like a month or 2 to find something. And then if I lose that one, it'll take me another month or 2 or 3 or whatever to find something else. So like you go through these droughts that you don't like when you're dating, and you know what I mean? I'm just telling you how it was when I was dating, back when I was on the enhancements, trying to find chicks, trying to find a girlfriend, trying to find consistent coochies. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it was frustrating me, man. I was getting mad. I even got mad at my steroid dealer, and I took it out on him. I was like, man, I'm supposed to be using these steroids. I'm supposed to have found me a girlfriend by now, bro. And I was struggling. And even though I was getting some female attention, don't get me wrong, you know, I was still getting attention, but it wasn't like I could keep a female around for very long. You know, she would disappear and ghost me after about a month or 2 of dating her. Even the fat chick gave me an ultimatum. Remember that fat chick with the bad breath? I'm like, even the fat chick with the bad breath had more options than me. I'm like, how is that possible? She's overweight. She's a 4 in looks. No, not that she's overweight. It was like she was a 4 in looks at the same time, you know, and even she had more options with that stanky ass breath she had. Cause I kept smelling that breath, man. I was like, man, this breath don't smell good. So it's forcing dudes, just like Wheat Waffle, man. I just watched a video that he has uploaded, and I'm thinking about becoming I'm thinking about becoming a no face YouTuber. I'm going back to like not showing my face, because it causes all kinds of stirs up out here, bro. When you say stuff against people that, you know, and stuff like that, you might get attacked in public, or you might get confronted in public, or a female, you know, she might find your channel and then decide that she don't want to talk to you no more. That's what's probably been happening to me, man. A lot of females are coming around my channel, and then they find out what I say, and then now they don't want to talk to me and shit. You feel what I'm saying? You know. So I think I might start becoming a no-face YouTuber again. That's when I first started out on YouTube. I was a no-face YouTuber. You couldn't see my face. I didn't want to show people my face because I want to voice my opinion without the backlash, you know. But I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about taking down this whole entire channel and start a brand new channel somewhere else with just with no face, you know. That way I could be free to talk about whatever and don't fear any consequences or nothing like that. Because one thing about fame, even if it's YouTube, it can hurt you in the long run. Like I said, nobody wants to be on the drought. No man wants to be in a position where he's struggling to get sex on the regular. Because us men, we need sex on the regular, at least 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week. If you're young, if you're in your 20s, you need sex about 5 times a week. An older man like me, in his 40s, I need sex at least 3 times a week, bro. At least that. At least. It could be more, but at least 3 times a week to keep me good and insane in the membrane. You know what I'm saying? And insane, not insane, and sane. Because you can go crazy without having sex, bro, for a long period of time, bro. Now, who wants to be in that type of position? I don't want to be in a position where I'm like struggling to get sex or intimacy on a regular basis. So I say, man, get the money up. That's the only thing you can do. Gotta keep sex in your life on a consistent basis when you got some bread. You know what I'm saying? You know, and being without sex is unhealthy. But by the way, being without sex is unhealthy for your mind and soul. You feel me? That's why I continue to work out though and try to keep myself in shape, because I like my attention from females. I like the, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a battle, man, and it's very highly competitive, man. And you know, you're in a rat race, and you know, you got to compete with these other men and shit, man, just so you can get a regular sex life. That's my thing, is to compete against other men on a high level, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So I get this jackpot, or I get like a bag or whatever, I'm in the door, bro. That's how I look at it. I'm like, man, once I get this bag, my ass is in the door. You feel me? My ass is in the door. I'm done. I ain't struggling no more. Who wants to struggle, bro? Nobody. Nobody wants to struggle, bro. Nobody wants to be on that chopping block. You know, nobody wants to be at the end. You know, in the dating apps and social media, it's causing all this frustration amongst the average man, bro. You feel what I'm saying? I stopped dating because I felt like I'm getting like low quality scraps, and I don't want that. So I said, get the bag, bro. You won't be out here having to settle for somebody that's lesser than you. And then if you get horny enough, bro, you're gonna do it. Like me, when I was dealing with Sub 5 Stalker, dating was hard for me. It was nearly impossible. But she was the only one throwing the coochie at me, so I was like, okay, let me take this up on her offer. And that was the wrong decision, bro. I regret that, because she was fucking with me like she wouldn't leave me alone. She was stalking me and shit, man. And I was like, oh man, look what my dick done got me into, man. Some stalker crazy bitch. You know. Because if I had other options, I would have never had even went her way, bro. If I had my face match option, I wouldn't even thought to even sleep with her, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like if I had a female that was a 5 and 6 in looks or whatever, I'd be like, ugh, look at her. She's sub 5. She's like a 2 or 3. Like, nah, I'm good with that. I'm good. I got me a 6. You know, you feel me? But when you thirsty enough, you gonna look down, and after a while, them sub 5 fat women or whatever, whether she's sub 5 or fat or both, they're gonna start looking good to you after a while. You ever noticed that? The sub 5 females, they start looking good, especially if they got some big old titties or some shit like that. And then you ain't had sex in like 3 months or whatever. You gonna try to do something, man. You gonna step to them. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be like, God damn, that girl, she sub 5, but she got some big old titties. I can fuck with that. It has happened to me a couple of times, even in bars and clubs. There was this one chick, not the chick that walked up to me because she thought I was the lotto winner. You see, that's what I'm saying. Women are only want to deal with the top 10% of men. Why would that female even step to me, man, after she found out that I hit a jackpot? You know, she just stepped to me, just all of a sudden approached me out of nowhere. And I was minding my own business in the bar, walking around like do-do-do-do-do, my hands in my pockets and shit, walking around. And then she approaches me. You know, like I said, there was this one female, back to what I was saying, there was this one female that approached me, man. She had, the thing is, she didn't have no bottom though. She had top. She had nice titties and stuff, and her face was like around a 5-ish. She was like a 5 in the face. She had a nice top, but the hourglass shape from the waist down wasn't there. You know, and I was gonna hit that. I thought about hitting it, but I got kicked out of the bar and arrested before that happened. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna hit it. I was on my way to doing it. But uh, it goes to show that how hard it is in the dating market for the average man to find his face match. You know, women who are below you, they're gonna approach you. There's this sub-5 female in Starbucks always approaching me. She gave me something, you know. She gave me something yesterday. I'm not gonna look at it. I guess it's her singing or some shit like that. But I'm not even gonna entertain the thought of like looking at the video. I mean, or the song that she gave me or something like that. And she gave it to me. And I'm like, now this woman, she's not fat, but she's below me in looks. And from time to time, I'd be thinking like, man, just go ahead and hit it, man. Go ahead and hit it. I'm like thinking about, but then I start thinking about what happened to me, you know, about 6 months ago with sub-5 Stalker. You know. Yeah, you start compromising. Yeah, you start letting down your guard and lowering your standards, because a motherfucker, he get horny enough, he gonna lower them standards, man. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, from time to time, this female in Starbucks that be approaching me, I be trying to hold my discipline because I know I could hit that if I tried. But I said no. The last time I tried to do that, you know, this female wouldn't let me go. So that's why I haven't hit that yet. Now, she does have a little tiny good butt. I look at her butt. She ain't got an hourglass shape, man, but she got an okay butt. I give her a butt like around a 4 or a 5. Something like, no, about around a 5. Her butt is like a 5. You know what I'm saying? She ain't fat, but she's sub-5 in the face. She's older. She's like, she's probably around my age or something like that. Maybe 50 or something like that, but I'm just not attracted to her, man. You know, I'm sorry. My last girlfriend was better looking than her, and you know, I don't like her like that. But she gave me a gift or something, though. Gave me something yesterday. I'm just like, you know, this is what it has come to, bro. Dudes are getting forced to date down and get the leftovers and the scraps. It's like if you're hungry, bro, you know, and you're like in the wild, you know, like let's say you a fucking goddamn you're a hyena and shit. You know, all the big lions, they eat, you know, the fresh stuff, you know, the freshly killed stuff, right? And then when the scraps are left there after they leave the scraps behind, and you so hungry, you're like a hyena just running there, rushing. Oh, scraps! Like, there's some meat on the bone still left there. There's bones and stuff that you could chew on. You know what I'm saying? Scraps. You know, that's what the hyenas get when the lions are finished with the meal. You know, that's how it is in the human kingdom too, just like the animal kingdom. There's a pecking order. Okay, let's talk about pecking orders, because it exists amongst the seagulls too, man. I noticed that, man. The bigger seagulls eat first, bro, and then the smaller seagulls they get what's left over. The smaller, weaker seagulls gets what's left over, which is the little crumbs, the little the little tiny crumbs, or the little spectacles, or the little particles that's left from the meal. I noticed that. I seen the smaller, weaker seagulls, they come and eat the crumbs and stuff that the bigger seagulls left behind. It's like that in the human kingdom too. Like all the bigger, more powerful, rich men, the Chads and Tyrones, get the best things out of life, while the average guy or below average guy got to settle for scraps. You know, that's like women who are below their looks level. Women that Chad and Tyrone and rich men do not want. You feel what I'm saying? Cause you so goddamn hungry, you look at the scraps, you're like, man, I gotta eat this, man. I gotta eat at least, you know, I gotta eat these bones. At least I found like one drumstick in the deal, you know what I'm saying? That's how it is in the human race too, bro. The most dominant men, bro, they get the best things out of life, bro. The rich men, the Chads, the Tyrones, the bad boys. They get the best things. They get the stuff that's fresh, while you get what's left over. Basically, you get a woman with a kid, or you get a woman that's below you in looks. You see what I'm saying? Stuff that the elites and stuff are not checking for. Like Sub 5 Stalker, nobody wanted her, bro. No man wanted her, bro. And I was just so hungry and thirsty for sex, man, that I tried to hit it, man. You feel me? But it was my thirst that got to me, bro. Because at first, when Sub 5 Stalker was trying to hit on me, I was like, I'm good, I'm cool, get back off me, back off me. Then I saw her titties, and that's what got me started, that she had some nice plump titties. And she was showing them to me too. You know, getting out of the car with cleavage on. And I fell for the bait, bro. You know, that's sometimes you gotta learn some dick discipline, man. And that's what I have learned so far. Ever since Sub 5 Stalker, I ain't messing with no Sub 5 female, bro. I don't care how horny I get. I'm just not gonna, no, I'm good. We're gonna get this bag, and we're gonna get at least an average woman in this piece. You feel me? At least a female that's a 6 or a 7 or something. You know, I ain't gonna be out here selling for no scraps, man. You know, but in the human race, there's a pecking order. It is. With anything, bro, like the bigger and the most strongest animal, they eat first, and you eat last. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I see it in the seagull, amongst the seagulls. When I feed the seagulls every day and shit, you know, I see the first seagulls that land are the bigger and stronger seagulls, bro. And they run away from the I seen it with my own two eyes, bro. They run away, the little seagulls, the smaller and the weaker seagulls. Away, they run them away from the meal. Like I'll be there feed the seagulls, right? And then the bigger and stronger seagull will run over to the little tiny most smaller seagull and check them real quick. You know, just start running after him. And then the other seagull, he'll, oh my God. He'll run away. He didn't run away from the meal, but he's just checking them though. He's checking the other seagull. Like, nigga, I'm here to eat first. This is a pecking order right here. If you don't like it, get the fuck out of here. you know. And the other seagull would run away because that's the bigger seagull, bro. It's the same thing in the human race amongst the dating apps, and it's just like the bigger and stronger males that are more dominant. They eat first. They get the good shit. That's why you ain't getting no bad bitch, man. Nah, because the most dominant male are eating first. You know, and a nigga that's average looking, he gotta get money. Like Diddy would have never had a shot with Cassie, man. Because he's the dominant male, money wise, financially, he got to eat. That's why I say, brother, money, get the bag, bro. Get the fucking bag, man. That way you won't be at the bottom of the pecking order, bro. Like if you're struggling right now in the date market, you're at the bottom of the pecking order. You feel what I'm saying? If you're struggling in the date market right now, you are at the bottom of the pecking order. And that means bigger and stronger, taller men are getting what they want, and you're getting scraps. As a guy that's a 5, 6, or a 7 in looks, you're getting scraps. You got dudes who are coming out eating off your plate. We got dudes who are 7s coming around eating off the 6s and the 6s and 7, no, the 6s and 5s, my bad. The 6s and 5s plate, okay? He got bigger and taller, stronger males taking food from you and then leave you the scraps. Like you only get, you might get a bad bitch that's, an ex-bad bitch that used to be a bad bitch, and you'll get her after Chad and Tyrone is done with her. You feel what I'm saying? Or after the bad boy's done with her, then you get her. You don't get her when she's fresh. Only the male, the bigger and stronger male eat first, bro. Like I said, there was this one time, and I feed the seagulls on a regular basis. Right over here, bro, there was a pile of chips, right? Because I put them in 2 different piles. One over here, I put a lot in one pile, and then for some reason I put like some. I guess I was trying to feed one other weaker male of the bunch of the seagulls, and then the bigger male came out of nowhere, woof, flapping his wings, and he got around the pile of chips. It was like a little pile of chips right over here. And he got around the pile of chips. He starts checking everybody. He's like, these are my chips, nigga. He's just walking around like just checking all the fucking goddamn the seagulls, the smaller seagulls and shit. And then he turned his back after he checked all the seagulls, and they sat there and watched. And he checked all the seagulls, and then he bent over. He's like, Now what's good right now? And then he took one chip at a time, bro, and just ate it in front of him, brother. They couldn't do nothing. He was the bigger seagull, bro. The other seagulls just sat back and watched as he ate one chip at a time. Bro, I ain't lying, bro. It happened right over here, bro. I mean, bro, he was just like, he checked everybody, and everybody stood back. And he was the only one eating, bro. And then after he was done, the smallest seagull came around and got the crumbs, bro. It's the same shit. There's a seagull right there. They wait for me to feed them and shit. I don't got no food this morning, guys. Sorry. It's too early to have food right now. But for real, that's how it is. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use an analogy of how it is in the human race. The bigger and stronger males eat first, and you get the scraps. You get the leftovers. Some motherfuckers are just fine with scraps. They're like, fuck it, I'll take scraps. Some motherfuckers are not. They're not fine with scraps. Like me, I'm not. No, I'm good. I'm working on my money so I can get what I want. At least an average woman. Some motherfuckers, they live their life off scraps. Just like hyenas, bro. They come around, they eat the scraps at the line. They don't care. They don't even care what you think about themselves. They're just trying to survive. They trying to eat. They don't care what you think about them. I'm trying to survive. Fuck what you think. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it is in the human race. I'm trying to compare that to what's really going on, in the human race, in the human kingdom. It's like the bigger and stronger, most financially fit males eat first, and you get what's left over. Like, look what happened. Okay, Diddy and Cassie. Okay, Diddy got Cassie because he was a dominant male, with the money and shit, and the fame, the clothes, the cars, the houses. He got her first. Chad, the guy she married after, after she was, affiliated and associated with Bad Boy, after she left that, then Chad got her, okay? Now, he's the brokest. He ain't got no money or nothing like that. He's a less dominant male. Even though he's Chad, but still he's nothing compared to Diddy, because Diddy had money and status, okay? But he got her last. He got her when she was around 30-something, or closer to 30. But Diddy got to eat first. He got her when she was 19. Okay? It's called a pecking order, bro. The bigger and stronger males eat first. You eat what's left. I noticed that, man. I noticed that, bro. I think somebody told me about the pecking order a while back. I'm pretty sure somebody gonna steal this content, because this is some good content I'm telling you right now. I know it's good, you know. But somebody told me about the pecking order a while back. He was just like, there's a pecking order. The bigger and stronger males eat first, and you eat last. You know, like I said, Diddy got Cassie when she was like, fine. I remember I had a crush on Cassie back, when she came out with Me and You and shit. And then she came out with that You Got a Long Way to Go with Ryan Leslie and all that other stuff. He got her fresh. He got her fresh out of the oven. She was barely legal. Then the less dominant male with the less money, he got her last. That's it. I'm gonna end this live, man. You guys have a good day, man. I gotta go in here and maybe I'm fasting today. I'm not eating nothing. Oh yeah, today's workout day. So I'll make another video before I work out, man. You guys have a good day. Peace out, take care, and bless. I'm out.